Best.Podcast.Ever is brought to you by the Gertzberg Law Firm, a full-service business and litigation firm in Cleveland, Ohio. Practical and results-driven, the award-winning attorneys at Gertzberg Law have both in-house corporate and large firm backgrounds and have built a one-of-a-kind firm that is changing the way clients engage, work with, and pay for their attorneys. Visit GertzbergLaw.com to learn how we're different. Gertzberg Law Firm. We solve problems. Enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to listen to the best podcast ever recorded.
Hi, Molly Gebler. When we start that over again.
Yeah, that was weird.
It came out.
Weird.
I said hi, Molly Hebler. Hi, Molly Gebler.
Hi, Alex Gertzberg. How are you?
Fantastic.
Did you have a good day? Look at you got
Cufflinks.
cufflinks
like
on today. Did you have court or something?
Dapper today.
You're dapper. Very Mad Men. Very suits.
You know, our friend Meg Pawkin and I met with your friend Gene McKesh this morning.
He's already reported to me.
It was a power meeting.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
There was, I mean, I can't tell you what happened there, but all I can tell you is power
There's
happened.
an event coming. That's what I know.
Stuff is going down.
Stuff is going
Stuff
down.
is
I
going
love
down.
it. I
Yeah.
love that.
I love that dude. He's a good
I
dude.
love when chamber members are working together. That makes me
you
feel so good.
You introduced us.
Did you have a good weekend, Alex? Alex, what did you do this weekend?
I went boating yesterday.
You always go boating.
That was awesome. I fought with my kids a good portion of this weekend. That was not good.
That was not good.
No,
What did you fight about?
Man, sometimes I wonder if parents ever. I sometimes wonder if I'm the only parent that.
First of all, you're not. Whatever the next thing that is, you're not.
Yeah, jeez.
So.
Like sometimes I just want to murder them. You know what I mean? Do other parents,
That's a little far.
folks at home, can you please write in and tell me if you ever want to murder your children? I mean, I'm not talking about like in a painful way. Is that better?
Whatever.
Yeah. So wanted to murder the kids for a little bit, but then it was like a Seinfeld episode. Everything just kind of like resolved at the end.
Gotcha.
And
It
we all
always
hugged.
does.
Yeah. There was a lot of hugging at the end, and we all made up, and everyone was friends. So glad I didn't murder him.
Good.
Yeah, that was my weekend. Oh, you know what, Molly? I channeled my inner Molly this weekend.
Oh,
yeah,
tell.
Because I binge watched a brand new show.
What? What
Yeah.
show?
And I want to talk to you about
I need a show.
another show. So the show that I started binge watching is Ozark.
You know what? I've watched two episodes, and
You didn't like it?
I because everyone said that I would like that. That was I don't know. I loved Justin Bateman. Like I love him.
Jason,
and I love Justin too.
Justine is his sister.
Yes.
Yeah, she used to be a hottie back in the day.
Is she not anymore?
I don't know. I haven't seen her.
But I don't know. I couldn't.
Really?
I think I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah. Among the reasons I really like that show is because of the witty banter,
Yes,
the witty
and
comebacks.
He's so good
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah,
He's
he is.
so good with that.
Yeah.
We watched The Breakup not that long ago, and he's a genius in that movie.
Yeah, that's good.
Amazing.
Okay, and then the other thing, I feel awfully silly about this, Molly, but here I was all along thinking that's my jam is brilliant and so unique. It can't possibly be out there already. And then
I bursted your bubble.
I'm scrolling through YouTube as I am wont to do on a typical, any night. And there's carpool karaoke. Mm-hmm. Is it possible that they ripped Molly off? And
Wouldn't that have been great?
The Will Smith episode has 7 million views already.
I do need to see. I saw that one just came out, so I do need to see that one.
I can't believe they totally ripped you off like that.
I know. It's all good. I think the further you research, you'll find that he might have come out before me. But
it ain't.
It's
That's my jam.
Correct. I actually the new one that just dropped yesterday is with my 10-year-old nephew, and it's very, very cute. We rock out to "We Are the Champions," and he does an amazing job.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Speaking of dropping, can I share something? No, Alex.
I don't know, Molly. Can you? This is a family show.
My pumpkin roll trailer dropped today.
Dude, this is big.
It's got
huge
so
news.
many shares and so many views, and I'm so excited.
I'm
So
very proud of
excited.
you.
Trin Valley Times emailed me, and they want to do a big article on it, and I'm so excited. It's just starting to.
Roll like a
T-shirts
pumpkin.
are being made. I made one for you.
Molly,
you
this
are
is
the official lawyer of the.
no, but I just I cannot express to you enough how immensely proud I am of you, Molly.
Thank
this
you,
is,
sir.
It's
Thank
such a
you.
giant. Well, not just because you are now a documentarian, which is a huge accomplishment in itself. You are now one of a small. I mean, that's rarefied air, is what that is, Molly. But because this was a dream of yours for years, this was. I mean, you were obsessing over it. You slept it.
I
you
almost got it
breathed
stolen.
Yeah, I mean, you really. This is. I think when we started this podcast, I was telling you that one of the things that I would like to accomplish by it is to really drill down into what makes successful people successful, right? And one of the things that I know is persistence, right? And you are a walking, talking example, living, breathing example of how persistence ends up in this product that you are,
So darn proud.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
And we're gonna see this
at the Chagrin Documentary Film Festival.
Yeah.
It'll premiere October 3rd in Riverside Park,
I think what I'm gonna do is,
and then it'll show throughout the film festival.
I'm gonna organize a protest. We are going to try to have the documentary banned.
Will you wear a black morph suit and put a pumpkin on your
For
head
sure,
and dance?
definitely.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to protest on behalf of all pumpkins and pumpkin growers and homeowners whose pumpkins were stolen.
Yes.
None of whom were harmed in the making of this documentary.
Yes.
But that's not
There
true.
was a comment already on the producers of this is R43, and they shared it, and one of the comments were, "What a waste of food. Throw water balloons."
Well, I don't know.
I don't know if you can't slide
Whatever.
on a water balloon, I
Whatever.
don't think.
Can't please everybody.
No, you
No.
cannot. You can't. So our guest today, I'm so excited. You know why? Because I love ice cream.
Yeah, who doesn't? Communists, that's who.
This cat is. I'm very excited. I met him not that long ago, and it's a family-owned business. He owns Dairy Island. It is Rick Cibik, but we're going to find out the pronunciation of his name.
I say it's Cibik originally. That's my prediction. What do you think it was originally?
We want to know what it's called now. We don't care what it was. My name was originally something else too.
It was Pap,
You are correct. Yes.
which means priest in Hungarian,
And Gebler was gobbler, I believe.
which means
German.
turkey in German.
Gobble, gobble, gobble. So I'm so excited because not only has he now taken this new, actually he's kind of gone full circle because, his family's owned it for so long. He was in the business, left the business, and now owns it. He's gone full circle. So that's super cool. I love that.
He's got a pretty crazy story. I have so many questions for him.
A great story.
I mean, you know what? This cat is an example of how life is all about second acts.
Yes.
I mean, you can't pin this dude down. He
Second, third, fourth act.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and that he's a cat when he walks in here with his sandals on.
Yeah,
That's why we call
I noticed
him a cat.
that.
That's what my priest was wearing when he gave me communion
Is that right?
this
That's
weekend.
a cool priest.
Yeah.
Well, here, so let's just give the 57,000 loyal listeners of Best Podcast Ever a quick rundown. In addition to being the proprietor of Dairy Island, which is a local favorite, right?
Yes.
Which has ice cream and burgers and fries and just all these other concoctions. He's written a book. Went to film school.
I know you're excited.
I can't wait to ask him about that. Yeah. He's got an interesting ethnic background. He is a member of a Native American tribe that I have never heard of. which is more a commentary on me than
Have you
on
heard
anything else.
of all of them?
I may have.
That little cup there, glass. Sorry.
All right. Here, do you want this white wine?
Actually, why don't you just put white in there? Thank you. Sorry.
That's all right. He hikes and skis, and he
This
goes
is your
to
man.
concerts.
I will guarantee that there's going to be a couple dates with you and
I've
he
got
in
a
the
man
near
crush
future.
already.
I know.
Already.
I
Don't
feel
tell
it.
Paul. Don't tell Paul Marnichek.
No, no.
his
Or Gene now, obviously.
Who? Gene Friedman?
No, Gene.
Makesh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, oh man, I might have to just.
There's enough Alex to go around,
There is.
though.
There
so
is.
let's not limit yourself to
That's
just
right.
a few good men.
We are definitely going to have to talk about his first concert experience in 1976.
Both amazing bands. I mean, seriously.
Bad Company and Kansas.
I would have been too young to go to that concert, but if it were, I would have gone.
And this Arizona business that he had, it was a tourist. They did adventure tours, hiking and adventure seekers.
That's you. You're an adventure
I'm an adventure
seeker.
In the desert, man. Yeah, let's get this cat in here. We got all kinds of questions in here. All right.
Okay, wow. Right here? Okay.
Yeah, you're in the hot seat.
Okay.
All right. How did we mix it well enough? It was pure gin with an ice cube.
Yeah, it's mixed very well. Yeah. Thank you.
In honor of Rick, maybe I could taste gin since I tasted. What did I taste? Bourbon. What did I taste? Scotch.
You want me to go get you another glass?
No, I'll take that just because
This one
you
right
know
here?
me. It's gonna be. Don't you dare! It's gonna be totally disgusting. and
So
there'll
we're
be
going
a
to do this
face
every
involved.
Monday then?
Right.
Is that
Yes.
is that it?
We've been doing
Pretty
this.
much.
You're number
Yeah.
29, is it?
Yeah, did you buy me an anniversary gift or 30? You're waiting to
it's
the
Rick.
30th?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rick didn't bring us any ice cream, though.
What the? Here, I'll drink.
No ice cream, but I did bring you.
Oh,
the
here, this is to
official-
you, Rick.
Okay, well, thank
Yeah.
you.
Cheers.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
The official Dairy Island keychain.
Ooh. You like the gin? Well, it's mixed in with a little wine, though, is the thing.
I love
thanks, Rick.
this.
That's awesome.
Iconic ice cream and burgers. So Rick just gave us keychains.
Ooh, it says create your own
Okay,
ice
so
cream
Rick,
on
could
the
you
back.
say your last name for us?
Cibik.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
I'm saying
And I corrected.
I think it's Cibik today, but I think back in the day it was Cibik. Do you think that's true?
Possibly. Never for us, though. I'm sure it changed over
Yeah.
the years. Yeah, it was probably some, Cibik Krowski or something, or
Well, hold on.
Back
What's
in
So
the
that?
day.
good Polish name.
Slovak.
Slovak.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So, do you have relatives who were in Czechoslovakia? I guess
Why are
Czechoslovakia.
you looking at me?
I don't know.
Well, it was up before World War I. It was all Hungary.
Yeah.
So you had the
Austria-Hungarian, that's right.
Hungarian Empire, Germany, England.
That's my
And-
people.
So yeah, so it was all so we were in there, but yeah, Cibik, more Czech, Slovak area probably. But then on my grandmother's side, they're Hungarian, so it was
It's
from
okay,
there.
Rick, to tell Alex he's wrong. It's okay.
I-
Alex,
I-
you were wrong.
I think
it's not. What
I'm
did
not-
you say?
I'm
Cibik.
I'm saying it's undetermined at this time. I think that if
The
there
man
are
knows his family history there, Chief.
all right, listen. All I'm saying is that I think that back in during the Archduke Franz Ferdinand days of
my gosh.
pre-World War I, it was
Okay.
Cibik. That's all.
Oh,
Whatever.
okay.
It doesn't matter. Let's move on.
Oh, good.
And it's
one.
very possible. The name is mispronounced all the time. Most people spell it with an S to start, and then you get civic
Right.
a lot. So so you have to say B as in boy, CIB as in. So you get civic a lot, and Cibik, and
Has it always
Cibik.
been Cibik Dairy Island?
yes,
It always has been?
yeah.
I thought they added that recently.
Well, since 1976.
Okay, I just always call it Dairy Island, so I
Yeah.
gotcha. But now that we're besties,
Right.
I realize.
How did you guys know each other?
Well, the first event you came to before being a chamber member was the annual business meeting
Right.
at the cinema,
Right.
and
That was great.
then joined right after that, I believe.
Yeah.
Became chamber members right after that, and
Yeah.
the rest is history.
Okay.
The rest is history. We're going to have a nice little event for chamber members at his place at the end of this month, which I'm super pumped about.
Yeah.
A
Wait.
little ice cream social. You know, our traditional meet me at 5.
What day is that?
That is the 30th,
At
Wednesday.
5:00.
5 to 7. Yeah, but that's for chamber members. But you have 2 weeks to join the chamber so
right,
that you
so-
can attend.
So here's the deal, non-chamber members within the
Yes.
sound of my voice.
Yes.
Right. First of all, if you live in the Chagrin Valley and you're not a member of the chamber, you're just not cool, and you're not making nearly nearly the relationships or the money.
Not making good choices.
Terrible choices. Your parents would be disappointed.
Yes.
So you want to go to cvcc.org
Yes,
for that.
you do.
And then you get to be invited to cool events like
Like
the
an
Dairy
ice cream
Island
social.
ice
I'm
cream
so
social.
excited about that. I'm so excited. And
That'll be fun.
when I emailed Rick, I think we talked about it at lunch. It was like he didn't even have to think twice about it. This is my documentary that's coming out. He didn't have to think twice about it. I said, "Hey Rick, can we do an event at your place?" And it was yes. End of story.
So, for those who have never driven down Washington Street and looked to the right,
Do you think that I'd like anyone that hasn't to call in because I'd like to know
Yeah,
where
well,
they've been.
I mean, yeah, clearly they're just living in a forgotten time.
Yes.
But would you kindly, Rick, tell us about the genesis of Dairy Island and what it is, what it looks like? I mean, I could tell you what I see when I drive past it, but you're the owner. Talk about Dairy Island, how it started and what it is today.
Sure. Thanks for having me again.
Thanks for coming.
And it's great to be in Chagrin Falls, back in Chagrin Falls. I was gone for a long time. My dad bought Dairy Island in 1976. Their first day of business was April 9th, 1976. We still have the first dollar on the wall.
Love that.
And at the time, it was called Chagrin Dairy Bar. For all the people that have been around a long time will know that. And there used to be a rocket out in the front, and the rocket blew over and whatnot. But going previous to that, the shop was built in 1958, and the gentleman had it for a few years, and then he sold it to a couple Italian brothers who had it for 13 years. So it was around for almost 20 years before my dad bought it in 76. So it's been there a long time.
What was it? Was it always an ice cream place?
Always an ice cream place. Yeah, same.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the Italian brothers built the miniature golf in the back there. Yeah, so they built that. So 1976. So I was 14. My brother was 10, and we have a sister, and we, that's where we learned how to work and push ice cream.
Yeah.
And
Pedal, you guys were.
pedal ice cream. Yeah. So it's an interesting business. It's a summer business, seasonal
Yeah.
too. So that's pretty much it. So my mom and dad were always into Hawaii and palm trees and all that type of thing. So that's where the island thing came
Yeah.
from. So Dairy Island and
What did your folks do at the time that they bought it from the Italians?
for a living.
Yeah.
My dad, how he found the place. My dad drove a Wonder Bread Twinkie truck for
Okay.
17
A Twinkie truck?
A Twinkie truck,
Gosh,
yeah.
I love a good Twinkie.
Well, and so that's what, we were like the favorite house at Halloween because we would give away all the stale Twinkies. Of course, they never go stale. But they would come to our house for Twinkies. That's what he did in Geauga County, Chardon and, out here. Chagrin Falls used to go to Fisher Fazio's when it was Fazio's, before it was Heinen's, before it was whatever. And of course, Chrissy's By-Right and all this. So this was his work area, and that's how he kind of found the place. And he wanted to have his own business. He got sick of driving the Twinkie truck, which can't blame him. And he went into business for himself. So and he did well. He bought the property. So there's 3 businesses on the property. the ice cream store, the miniature golf, and then there's a little bird feeding station or whatever you call it. It's a store.
I'm not familiar with the bird feeding station.
To the left of
the miniature golf.
Miniature golf.
What do you mean? It's
like a bird feed place.
Yeah,
where
they
you
sell.
buy
they
bird
sell
feeders.
bird feeders.
Yeah, bird
Oh,
feeders.
yeah,
and
I've seen
seed
that.
and
I
that
have
type of
seen
stuff.
that.
Yeah,
And you guys own that too?
he owns the property. Yeah, my dad owns my mom and dad still own the property.
They've been there a long time too.
Yeah, it's been there a long time. Yeah.
So here's what I dig about Dairy Island, and I dig it even though I'm totally lactose intolerant. Right? Right? It's a misnomer. It's not just dairy. Well, right? I mean, the burgers are amazing, right?
Onion rings are amazing.
Yeah, the fries. I mean, I don't know what kind of heroin you guys put in your food, but I keep wanting to come back.
It's that the old style diner food.
Well, and this is what I was just about to say, right? So,
Not that healthy crap.
no, stop it. I'm sure that it's all good for you.
It's you know what I mean.
In moderation.
Yeah.
Moderation.
That's right.
I'm just talking that, like that, not a whole bunch of salads and stuff. These are good greasy hamburgers
Comfort
and greasy
food.
fries.
It's comfort food.
Yeah.
No,
Nothing wrong with that.
what I was gonna say though is, it harkens back to another time, a simpler time.
It does,
right?
yes.
Like when I drive past that place, which I do often, right? It reminds, like, I look at it kind of like with chagrin with Main Street, right? Like you squint your eyes and you're like, oh yeah, this is exactly what it looked like 30 years ago, right? And that's exactly what I bet Dairy Island looked like in like 1976, right?
Although you've been adding
pretty
some
much, yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it's been added on to. Yeah, in '76 it was a white block building, and my dad had actually somebody ran into the. Somebody hit the gas instead of the brake and ran into the back wall, so that's how we got our back addition.
Oh my God.
And then he added to the east. So yeah, I mean it's been expanded a little bit, and he's done.
And now you just put out the trellis.
Yeah, and then the eating
thing
area
outside,
in the
and the riding toys.
But the
Yeah,
feel of it,
Yeah.
the atmosphere is so like, it's like Greece, right? It's like, where the kids used to hang out after high school, right, to get sodas. And so
Are you going to bring out your leather jacket?
I might.
You were Kaniki,
I was
weren't you?
Kaniki in my high school production of Greece.
You know what? For the open house, or for the event on the 30th, I'll get a poodle skirt. You get a leather jacket, and that's how we'll
boy.
show up.
That's never going to happen.
You know that I will.
can't wait
you
to
know
hire-
that I will do it.
I can't wait to hire that lawyer who came to the networking event.
You know
dressed
what?
up as
That's not how
Kaneki.
people will see you, and you need to get over that. They're going
I
to
know,
see a
I'm just
very
joking.
fun and creative attorney.
Billy, I dressed
I'll
up
be
as
showing up in my poodle skirt, just so you know.
Looking forward to that.
Yes.
I dressed up as Superman at the Blossom Time Parade last
You
year.
did? I have a
I have no
picture.
shame whatsoever.
Yes.
Cool.
So brother bought it
Yeah.
from dad.
Yeah, actually, my brother and me bought the business from my father in 1991.
Oh.
In 1992, we turned it into a drive-in restaurant with car hops and kids on skates and that type of thing. I don't know if you remember that,
I
but
do.
that was fun. It was successful. Jack Carter used to be one of our regular customers, and that's Jimmy Carter's son, and he married a woman from Chagrin.
Really?
So they used to come up often, and they're from Atlanta, so that's Coke's the big thing. I think Coke is in Atlanta, and so he would always want Coke, so I would have to run out and get Coke for him because we always carried Pepsi products. But yeah, just turned into good friend, and he said he was going to bring his father up, and we had his dad up there with all the Secret Service one night, and
So cool.
that was real neat. So yeah, we did this drive-in thing, and then. In '95, I decided to leave the family business, and I moved to Phoenix. And I was out there for 18 years.
Let's dive into that.
Yeah. Let's start with why Phoenix and why leave. Why leave, and then why Phoenix?
Here we go.
Yeah. I'm going to move the microphone closer to get the good stuff.
No, well, growing up in that type of business, and in this small town.
Yeah.
Even Cleveland. I mean, it's a big town, but it's a small town. So I've always had the itch to,
Rome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to Kent, So it's not like I went to college out of state. All my friends are here, and everybody stayed for the most part. And so, yeah, I've always loved the West. Actually, my parents took us out there when I was 11 years old. This was the original National Lampoon vacation trip. Before the Chevy Chase thing, I mean, we did it. It was 12 of us in a Winnebago. It was my family, my grandparents, aunt and uncles, cousins, and the men slept in tents. The women slept inside. And we drove across the country all the way to L.A., went to Disneyland for the first time and all
awesome.
that thing. So, and Tijuana and Vegas and the whole thing. It was so cool. So at 11 years old. So, I've always loved the West.
And did you know, so was it the kind of thing where you went there without knowing what you were going to do when you got there, or did you have something lined up?
No, didn't know. I've been in food service my whole life. Before I left, I worked for Marriott and, a couple companies like that, and a smaller contract food service company out of Detroit. So, yeah, I mean, I knew that was what I was going to do because that's my experience. And that's what I did. I went out there and got a job with Aramark. And I worked for them for 3 years, and then I landed a job on an Indian reservation called Fort McDowell Yavapai Nation, one of 22 tribes in Arizona. And I was there for 14 years. And,
Yeah, we need to talk about
it was
that.
good, good fun, yeah. But I ran their smallest business called Fort McDowell Adventures, and I had a 25,000 acre adventure park. And I had 4 event venues that we rented out to the Scottsdale resorts. So this is like a real niche industry, a real niche business, which, I never was aware of. So basically what I sold the Arizona luau. So when corporate groups, when you take your people, Alex, out to, Scottsdale for the winter because you want to get away.
Is that where we're going?
It's our next Play Hooky Day.
Yeah. On a business meeting, sales incentive, whatever. And, we did a lot of incentives. They're in they're in these, fancy, resorts for, 3, 4, 5 days. You know them. You've been there. The Phoenician and, all of these guys. And they want to take their people, and experience Phoenix for a night. There's a lot of history there, cowboys and Indians, of course. So that's what I sold. So they would bus them out to the reservation, and we would have a 3-hour hoedown with gin and margaritas and wine and dancing girls and cowboy games and fireworks and you name it.
This was a Hawaiian themed adventure in an Native American reservation type of environment.
So that's just the analogy. So when you go to Hawaii, you want the Hawaiian culture, you want to be on the beach, you want to have a luau. When you go to Phoenix, you want to have that experience, the cowboys and Indians. So that's what, nothing to do with Hawaii.
Got it.
It was luau style.
Right. It was
equivalent.
That makes sense.
It's just the equivalent.
Right.
So that's what we did. I had a liquor license. That was our business. We did big groups of people, over 1,000 people, many times. Pretty much every Fortune 500 company you could think of. And these people came in through the resorts, through destination management companies, who brought them to us. So we didn't do a lot of direct business. We did at the end. We did after the recession, but most of our business came in through third parties. That sold this as their experience, out in Arizona. So yeah, I mean, you name it. Hershey's.
So give us a wild one. Give us a wild event.
I was going to ask the same question. Like that one time, like the one.
You're like, oh crap, I'm losing my license on this.
Or like when you go back there to visit your friends, like the one that you go, hey, remember that guy? Like that. I think that's the story Molly wants to hear. Yeah.
Well, we had it all. We had the gay cowboy. I mean, we always say, the Brokeback Mountain thing. We had that before the movie. But a little bit of everything. But the event that stands out for me, it was an oil company. I don't know which one. but of course they had oodles of money, and they would always take their people, 200 people, executives and their wives, to a exotic location or whatever every year, and they always would tell these people that they were going to have a beach party, and they were always on the beach somewhere. So for one reason or another, they never had a beach party, and people were, and this happened year after year. So it became the joke. So they took them to Phoenix, and we literally created a beach out in the desert. We brought in 100 tons of sand. The client brought in palm trees and water features. I mean, there was literally the water feature that that comes down, and you show videos on it. And on this side was the dancing waters. We had the Tiki Hut bar. So I mean, it was incredible. I mean, it was like a $500,000 event for these for this company, and it's just ridiculous what people how these companies, how they spend money. Quite a place.
Yeah. But you chose not to stay there. You came back to tropical Chagrin Falls, Ohio.
That's tropical today.
Right. To continue the family business. Is that how it went down?
No, actually,
we needed. He did more in.
Did we skip stuff?
Yeah. Well, film school. I want to talk about that, and that was all out there. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Scottsdale Community College.
Right.
Yeah,
so talk a little bit about that. And you wrote a book. Is that during your time out there?
Yeah.
You don't get anything past us.
I guess not. Yeah.
We have a crack research team.
We got it all.
I get okay. We'll do the book first. That came first. So my son, he's our only child, and very close to Jake, and he was about 11 or 12 years old, and he wanted to write a screenplay. Now, he's always wanted to be in the movie business. That's all he's ever wanted to do, and he's in the movie business now. But that's all he's ever wanted to do. We've always loved movies, watched all the movies and all that. So that was his thing. So he wanted to write a screenplay. So I went out and bought one of those screenplays for dummies books, and brought it home. And I started going through this. I'm like, this is over our head. This is way over our head. I said, why don't you just write a book? So he said, okay. So he recruited me. He said he wanted to write it with me. So it was all his idea. It's called Apollo Shane and the Death Pyramid. It's an Indiana Jones type story. It's 175 pages. It's a novel. And we wrote this together for 2 years out in Arizona.
Well, he was 11.
He was 12, 11, 12. I think he was 12. And we had, real interesting experience with publishing and this and that and the other thing. And, we should have just done it ourselves. And don't want to go there. But anyway, we learned a lot from the experience. So we have this book, and it's been sitting around, for many years. Didn't really sell it or anything. We gave it to our friends and, family. And it's been our connection as a father, and so that's been our project. We still talk about it. So real quick, so when he was in college, during the summer he started the screenplay after 10 years or whatever, and it sat there and he never finished it. So for his
of the book,
yeah.
Okay.
So for his college graduation present, I finised it. And I gave it to him.
You finished what,
the screenplay? Yeah, because I went and learned how to do this too in the meantime, a little bit. I mean, I'm not a good writer or anything, but anyway, finished it. So it's been our thing. So we just applied for copyright. We're gonna send it to Spec Scout and try to sell it, and so that's that. So he always wanted to do film. I sent him to film school. Before that was 2010. He graduated from high school in 2010, and I got the itch because he's always been interested, and so I took some film classes at Scottsdale Community College. Made a short film, 3-minute short about my grandparents, and that was a great experience. And then I took some other classes, screenwriting and.
All right, so hold on. So are you taking these classes because you now want to be a screenwriter and movie maker yourself, or because you want to finish this project with your kid, or both?
Well, I got interested in editing, and that's what it was. I, not too long ago, 7-8 years ago. I mean, these little editing programs, where you could, where people started making videos and you could, go in and make, your own commercials.
Wondershare. That's what I use. For my editing. That's my jam.
So that's how I got started. I made a video for my sister's 50th birthday, and that's how it kind of started. So I got interested in those editing programs, and then started doing.
Did you guys ever think about just making it as a movie, like selling it to?
Oh yeah.
I mean.
Oh yeah.
I like the Indiana Jones type.
Oh no, it's
action
it's
films.
a cool story. It takes place in Egypt, and there's a main character. His name's Apollo Shane, and he meets these interesting characters along the way. Egyptian Alahomi and these different people, and he goes with his best friend over for this research project, and then they run into all this mess, and then there's pyramids. It would make a good movie.
You ought to make it.
Yeah, it would make a good movie.
You got an official documentarian right here.
Yes. Do you ever think about having a celebrity? I would love to be a celebrity. Not that I'm a celebrity, but I would love to work there for a couple hours and serve ice cream. I think because I've never done it, I think that would be super fun. So if you ever want to entertain, having
Saturday.
I am coming Saturday.
All right.
I am coming Saturday.
But I've got an idea. I mean, what about in the winter months having a drive-through hot cocoa and coffee place?
Well, you have something coming in right? Something traveling, taking the
bus.
ice cream on the road.
Yeah, we bought a school bus, and we're gonna turn it into a food truck. But yeah, the drive-through idea is a great idea, and we thought
hot
of
cocoa and
tea, anything hot.
I mean,
soup.
Can I get my ice cream with? Why can't I get my ice cream during the winter?
I can't think of a single reason.
Absolutely not.
But you know what? There really aren't any drive-through soup places, and I would drive through any place if they had like good hot soup,
hot chocolate, and coffee.
Rick,
there you go, Rick.
do that up, man. You could be the first drive-through soup place.
I'd call it the soup Nazi.
Yeah.
But
there's no coffee place
probably
that's a
couldn't do
drive-through.
that. I think it's taken.
Arabica used to be by you.
Yeah.
Arabica was used to be there at the end of where the Washington Diner is. That was Arabica on the end, and there was a drive-through there. But there was no coffee drive-throughs except Dunkin' Donut.
So yeah, I guess that's the thing. A lot of things have changed in that corner. Places come and go. But yeah, I mean, Dairy Island. I mean, it's been there for a long time, and even next door. It used to be Zucker Marines back in the day, the boat place. Then it was the post office, and now it's Arborware, and so yeah, things change,
but not Dairy Island.
Still there.
You still have the googly eyes.
Still got the googly eyes. Yeah, the kids love.
Do you know about the googly eyes?
I'm unfamiliar.
Well, then you haven't been to Dairy Island.
Yes, I have. I'm
just telling
there.
you
That's
haven't.
how I met Meg. You don't like it.
So before the eyes, and I would imagine everybody uses them today, but I mean, we've been there a long time, 40 years, 42. This is our 42nd summer. So in the early days, those first couple of years, my mother used to put peanuts on the cones for eyes, and then somehow, and I don't know if kids would ask for them or if she just started doing that. I don't know.
I love it.
But then, because we were kids, we were like, oh, that's so stupid. Of
Peanuts
course,
aren't eyes, Mom.
yeah, it's very popular. So yeah, we put these little eyes on. Actually, that's my goal this winter to either find something or design something where I can. It'll be a gun that shoots the eyes.
Because they're all by hand.
On the ice cream cone. So instead, yeah.
But we need to talk about your time now because you're killing it, and this is no disrespect to your parents or your brother, but Dairy Island has just always been there, and you knew it was there, and you went to it or you didn't go to it or whatever, but you have taken it to a totally different level. You have music sometimes now. You have this new create your own ice cream contest going on this summer, which is brilliant. I will be making my own flavor soon. You're marketing. You're all over the place. So did you bring it all from your background I mean, because it wasn't doing bad, but you definitely have brought it to 2017.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Decided to come back in 15, 2 years ago, and I missed home. I have great friends out there. I love it out there. The weather's great. The winters are great. The golf is great. The sunsets are great. I mean, it's quite a place, but it's not home. And it's, for whatever that's worth, I mean, it's just, not. I mean, my roots are here. My friends are here, in Columbus, Solon, Lakewood, whatever.
Well, I got a theory about this. I think that for people who felt an urge to get the hell out, right? Like I did, like you did, Molly, I don't know if you ever did, right? So all right. For those of us, and there's a lot of us. I mean, there's a time, I think there's a time in a lot of people's lives who are surrounded by their high school friends, right? Who are like, I'm getting out and I'm never coming back here, right? And I can't wait to get out, right? And I think what ends up happening for those of us that come back, I'm definitely one. You're one of them, Rick. I think that there's this realization that you have that it's not the place, it's your mindset. Once there's this tipping point where you realize wherever I'm at, that's the place to be. You can create your own happiness. You don't need to be away from something. You just need to be surrounded by things that you appreciate and that you're grateful for, right? So it took me a while to figure that out. And I think that people who come back, right, kind of get, do you think that's true? Do you think that you got that appreciation for just, it's not where you are, it's what your mindset is about life and about your relationships?
Absolutely. It's all in the mind, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's it's like the weather. The weather's inside.
Yeah.
The weather's not out there, and that and that's I mean, you learn that.
Right.
I mean, and because I used to be in Arizona, the weather would be great. I'm like, well, I feel like crap today. Why is that? Well, because I mean, it's a beautiful day, but it's just it's what you learn. But yes, you're right. You appreciate. I think it has something to do with just becoming a little wiser. I mean, sometimes you just have to do that.
Do you play drums in a band?
I do, actually, and so my best friend in in Tanglewood, married a girl that lived on Beacon Hill, that grew up on Beacon Hill, right off of 306. Went to Kenston. They both went to Kenston, and they got married in '84. And we were actually in our first band together. Russ was the guitar player. I was the drummer. Dan Hollab in Solon.
What was the name of the band?
Rama. No, nobody would know that, but unless you're going back to 1979 or whatever, in Solon High School. But Michael Cardelloni was around back then. He's actually the drummer for Leonard Skinner.
Okay.
Now. But anyway, we had this band, and we would play parties. We were 18, we were kids, and Russ married Laura, the singer. And after 37 years, we put our band back together.
You got the band back together.
We got the band back together after 37 years. So that's the best part of the whole story. I mean, all the other stuff, whatever. But this is what it's all about for me now, because I mean, this is just great fun. So, we play down their basement. We don't play it. That's too much work, to take all the stuff to a bar. We play down the basement, with a 6-pack or 12 or whatever, and. Yeah, I mean, I'm a rock star in the basement, and it's just great, great fun to be able to do that. And we're playing the same music we did 37 years ago. Not all, but a lot of the same stuff. So, I mean, it's been so much fun. So I'm in Columbus, enjoying this, having a great time. My brother and sister have had the business since I left in '95, so they've been there years and years. My brother had been there since he was 10 years old in 1976, every single summer, 41 summers.
Wow.
Well, my dad owned the place, and then I owned it with him, and then he took it over with his wife. So he had been there. So they wanted to retire. They were supposed to sell the place to one of their employees. She had been with them for 20 years. And, yeah, I mean, it was pretty much a done deal. Contracts were in place. everything was, done. Just never in a million years. So, my dad was selling her the property. She was buying the business. The Cibics were gone. It was the end of an era for the most part, which was, the way it was supposed to happen. So at the last minute, it fell through, for different reasons we don't have to talk about. But I woke up one morning and I said, hey, now, wouldn't this be a crazy thing? And that's exactly what it was, because I left 25 years ago and, this was over. Mm-hmm. It was in, family businesses, all the,
little nuances.
Yeah. It's, the hard feelings or whatever. But, all that's under the bridge, whatever. So I approached my mother, the soft one, and then I talked to my father, the hard one. And then I talked to my brother, and, after some negotiating and yelling, I decided, the family agreed. So that's pretty much how it happened. I woke up one morning and I said, wow, wouldn't this be funny? But it's timing. Everything is timing, just like we talked about. This is all about fun. It's not about, I couldn't wait to get the heck out of here, 30 years ago. Little Chagrin Falls and, all of this. But, I'm back home. It's fun. It's ice cream. The only thing that would be better is if we had liquor there. Maybe we'll get a liquor license eventually and have adult
I know some good
shakes.
lawyers.
Yeah. But, it's just fun. And it's great. It's great to be back. And people are so appreciative. I just want to mention that. People, come up and thank me. They're like, thanks for doing this. And keeping it in the family. And
you bring happiness to people.
Yeah.
There's nobody leaving Dairy Island in being angry. They might come angry, but you make people happy.
Yeah. So what a
cool.
blessing. Yeah. So it's fun. And then in October, I'm going to go back down to Columbus and sit on the drums in the basement and be a rock star.
and pawn things.
I got to tell you, what I absolutely love about this entire conversation and this entire story is how, I swear, the way I'm imagining the timeline of your life is it's this dance between like intentional decisions and purpose and just total craziness and randomness, right? And now talking about it in hindsight, it all just seemed to fall in perfectly. Yeah. But I bet at each step, when there's nothing but the fear of the unknown, and just blue sky and horizon, there had to have, wouldn't it be funny if I went back and bought the business from the family? You must have thought this could be the biggest mistake of my life, right? It could be a total bomb. But
I think even the moving to Arizona could have been
exactly
that thought.
Right. I'm going to pick up my family. Right. I got a small kid.
But you did it, and that's what I find so intriguing, that you did it.
Yeah.
Without knowing anything. Yeah. I don't know if that's a question.
What
is it?
No,
comment on that, would you, Rick?
That's nice thinking. But the only way I can respond to that is, each one of us is driven by different things, and we all have our own path to walk. I believe this. Some people are just, satisfied with what is, and that's a wonderful thing, to be content with what you have. Yeah. Me, I was never content. Oh no, I want this, I want that. I had to go through that. I want this, I want the house, I want the pool, I want that lifestyle.
Right.
But I'm really glad to be back here. This is home. You drive into Chagrin Falls, it's like driving into a movie set.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
For sure.
It's just a great place. And I love, Auburn. I live in Auburn, so I love it out there too. It's just a great area.
So the other thing that jumps out about sort of where you ended up is, lately I've been thinking about happiness as like defining it as maximizing your choices, right? Being able to spend your time exactly how you want to spend your time, right? People who, in my experience, the people who tend to be less happy are people who have less choices, less freedom, right? They're kind of living according to somebody else's timeline and expectations, right?
In their own mind.
Well, yeah.
I'm a firm believer that
well, no, you're right.
you're your own.
You're
you
right.
Make your own
if
choices,
you choose,
so.
right. But the point is if it's like that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Like the top one is self-actualization, which
Wait, time out, Nellie. We need a
chart.
sound effect for when Alex is about to get deep.
Hold on.
So could you put it in right now?
Oh, it's
Okay,
probably
go
going to be
ahead,
like
Alex.
a fart sound. No, but the top one, right, which I think is equivalent to what I'm saying, right? With like true happiness is the point in your life where you are doing exactly what you want to be doing most of the time, right? You're not doing things because you're forced to do it. You're not doing it because you gotta do that to.
Yep.
Right?
That's
I mean,
what
are
it's
you
all about. Yeah. I mean,
right?
you got to do what you love. I mean, it's a cliche, of course. Everybody says it and knows it, but it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, do what you love. Period. I mean, that's it. Now, it's getting there. I mean,
Right.
that's not always easy to get
Right.
to because
I
we all know what we.
you as
Yeah.
just jumping, maybe not thinking through that jump. And correct me if I'm wrong, but when you land, then you decide to be happy of where that landing is. Because I see you to be more of a risk taker, and sometimes risk takers aren't headed towards happiness; they're headed towards something, and then when they get there, they create the happiness of where they are. Does that make sense? Because I don't think when you're jumping to Arizona and you're leaving your job, you're happy. But you found it when you got to Arizona.
Yeah.
It's a risk. It's because you don't.
Well,
right? I'm
me-
not
let-
speaking for you, Rick. I
no.
apologize.
Let me respond. I think true happiness, is creating your own ice cream, and so
What a great
I might
segue
do
this
that
is. Oh my
tonight.
goodness.
So-
this gets the award for the podcast's best segue yet.
We should have the best podcast ice cream. You can name it anything
oh
you
yeah,
want.
we can do that. Yeah.
It should be wine and gin.
All right. Well, hold on.
But that's
finish your thought, Rick.
Well,
we got
but that's so
stuff to talk
so this
about.
is really what it's all about. I mean, yeah, sure, it's about ice cream. Ice cream is great, right? It's fun, it's good, it's it's got its own buzz. I mean,
Yeah, it is.
that sugar. I mean, ice cream's great, but that's really not what it's all about. What it's about is, this is what we do. We create our own lives, right? So why shouldn't we create our own ice cream? You create everything else. You create your families, you create your wardrobe, you create your personality, you create your friends. I mean, everything, your law firm, everything. So, why not create your own ice cream? It's the most important thing, right? I mean, because what's more important than ice cream? Nothing.
No,
right?
absolutely not.
I mean,
Well,
yeah.
hot fudge, but
Right. Well, chocolate maybe. Yeah. So this is where the fun comes in, because
Right.
we could all live without ice cream. We can't live without you. We can't live without you. But ice cream we could definitely live without of, and a lot of people in this world do live without it. But
Alex.
but that's the fun. That's the fun thing. So yeah. People have the opportunity to create their own flavor,
I love that.
whatever
And give us a couple
speaks to them.
flavors that are
So mine
on the
is
list
Franks
right
and
now.
beans. So I was in Arizona, right? We talked about Arizona, and after the recession, I had to open up to the public, so we had a wiener roast every Friday night, and we sold wieners and s'mores, and it was popular. Kids came, Girl Scouts. So I chop up a hot dog and I open up a can of baked beans and I put it in our vanilla frozen custard, and mix it all up. And so I have this summer experience in a bowl, right? You have your entree, your side dish, your dessert. It's right there. So that's what I did. And how I came up with that, I don't know. But it's so stupid and it's not very good. But just side note real quick. So I found gummy hot dogs. And so I put gummy hot dogs in with jelly beans. So Franks and beans. to make it a little more palatable.
Want some more gin?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. So anyway, it's just about, thinking, being creative, coming up with your own flavor. We've had 80-year-olds do it. We've had, 6-year-olds do it. So, all ages. So you create your own flavor, whatever speaks to you, and then you name it. Mine is Franks and Beans.
They have different.
Right.
I'm trying to find a picture.
but
We have the ingredients are all right there.
Take me out to the ball game. It's raining chocolate. Gummy adventures.
But what am I filling out like
Loco
a
Loco.
form? Am I handing it to you and someone's making it in front of me? Like, how does it happen?
Right.
Exactly.
So you create your own
Yeah.
flavor on a form. That's how you register it, and you give it to us, and we make your ice cream. It's $6, and we're gonna make your ice cream right in front of you, homemade. We're gonna whip it up, all your flavors. You can have whatever you want in it, and then you fill out the form, and that's how you register it. Then we give you a magic marker, and you're gonna write your flavor on the wall, so it becomes part of our menu.
I got it. I
Because-
already won. I got it.
Because literally
Yeah.
these flavors are a part of our menu, and they'll eventually be on our website. We're working on the website, but
And then you're promoting people to go and order your flavor.
right. So you want to sell your flavor, because if your flavor sells the most this summer, you win free ice cream all next summer. So
This is the most
Well,
brilliant
you only
thing I've
have
ever
1
heard.
week to
Well,
do
it's
it, for
just
Pete's
silly.
sake. It's right. The
Yeah.
awards are next weekend.
Saturday,
Yeah.
Saturday we're going to have the awards
Better get
ceremony,
on
and
it.
we have
Well, this isn't gonna-
nominees. So
Yeah.
it kind of ties into the movie thing and the the whole
Uh-huh.
thing that we
Oh,
talked
yeah.
about, because I mean it's we're gonna have a big ceremony, awards ceremony, and we invited all the kids, all the nominees, all the creators are invited. We're having a VIP reception.
I got an invitation.
So hold on. Is it too late to enter?
Well, now we're
This
on
week?
next year, because
Oh.
see, the award ceremony is Saturday, so it's too late for Saturday, but you can still do it for next year. So what I'm doing is I'm working with Nate, actually, but what we're going to do is we're going to come up with there's going to be bigger incentives to do this.
Yeah.
So basically for $6, you get to create your own flavor.
Bigger than getting ice cream free for a year?
Well, that's pretty big, I guess. But there's going to be a bigger reason to do that. And
I think you should give your lawyers ice cream free for a year. I'm just saying. Are you happy with the quality of the legal service you're getting? We'll talk about it later.
But one more thing. So in regards to the website, so all of this you'll be able to do on the website. That's where I'm going. So you can do this all on the website. Register it,
Yeah.
create it, write it on the web. On the virtual wall on the website. Do everything through the website and social media, and then
I think it's brilliant.
And speaking of your website, you can now, as if ice cream isn't any easier, you can now order your ice cream. This is what we do at the Gebler House. We order our ice cream online.
Yeah.
We pay for it, and we send John and go pick it up.
Yeah.
No, that's
All
you know what that
online.
is. That's
Brilliant is what that
efficient.
is.
It's
Yes.
resourceful.
That is brilliant.
All right.
Yes.
So
And our website, and just real quick, the senior class
Yes.
Kenston put our website together, first website ever in 42 years this past spring, and they did a phenomenal job.
It
And
looks
you have
great.
murals
applaud
on the
them.
side by students
we had
as
an art
well.
contest with the schools. So yeah, I mean,
There's lots going on over there.
It's a community place. I mean,
Yes.
and that's the thing. The Cibics. I own it. The bank owns it, but whatever.
Yeah.
I own it. I run it, and of course we've been there a long time, and this and that. But it's definitely the communities.
That it is.
All
That
right.
It is.
this has been awesome, but we need to get to the lightning round.
We do.
Lightning round questions. You
Yes.
ready?
Okay.
All right. Biggest success. What is it? What is yours? What is your biggest success?
The project with my son.
The book?
The book, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that has been my most fulfilling, project, and I'm proud of it. It's been a good thing.
It's pretty inspiring, actually. I mean, honestly, I might leave here and get back. So young Jacob Gertzberg and I were making a comic book together for a while. And
I'm gonna get back on it.
yeah, you kind of inspired me to get back to it. I Like we kind of finished it, but we didn't. So anyway,
Okay.
biggest failure, defining it any way you want. Defining failure as a learning experience or just a downright failure that sucked, whatever, you know.
We stumped him.
For the kids listening
Or he
at
has
home,
too many. He's trying
Rick
to.
Cibik right now's head just spontaneously exploded as he thought about the answer. Take your time. Take your time.
Well,
Do you want some more gin?
probably. I've made bad decisions in regards to, business and family, and, it's about making decisions. We know that. And so, as far as which decision is the worst, I don't know. There's been a lot of them, but if I had to pick one thing, it's my divorce from my wife. I was married 22 years, and it was bad. And I think, if as a failure, as a failed marriage, yeah, that would have to be the big thing. I grew up in a family. People don't divorce in my family. My grandparents were like Archie and Edith Bunker. He was the worst, she was the best, and she stuck with him through thick and thin. And I've seen my parents in business together, and all my friends are still together. Russ and Lauren Columbus and everybody else, and so that was a biggie, but meant to be.
Right.
So it's not it's not like
Glad you back here.
Yeah, it's not that I'm harping on that or anything, but that's a biggie, and I never realized what that was before, because it happens so often. You hear people, getting divorced. Oh yeah, right, yeah, whatever. But it's it was a life changer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sucky.
I always think about, Louis C.K., that comedian. He does this great bit about how he goes, when I got divorced, and people would come up to me and say, "Hey, I'm sorry you got divorced," and I said, "Don't be sorry. It obviously wasn't a good marriage, right? In fact, in the history of marriages, no good marriage has ended up in divorce, right?
That's right.
By definition, you should be congratulating me."
That's right. That's true. I've heard that. Oh, that's so true. But and so this is part of the, the learning curve, right? This is how we're brought up. I was
Right.
brought up in Cleveland, Ohio. This is the way things are supposed to be. And when, your life doesn't turn out the way things are supposed to be, boy, you take a hard look and you say, so how are they supposed to be? Mm-hmm. And that's when I had the thought, you know what? I need to create my own ice cream.
Oh man.
It makes everything better.
I'm gonna milk it.
Yeah. Do it.
Get it? Milk it. That was
Absolutely.
no pun intended. Molly, would you like to ask your lightning round question?
Yeah. So, any influential a woman in your life that was a good guide for you?
Absolutely, it's my grandmother, the one I just mentioned. She was, such an incredible woman. Grew up during the Depression. This is my father's mother. She died in 2007. And they were literally like Archie and Edith. And I'm going to tell you a quick story about them, and just to give you an example of what kind of marriage they had. She hated the heat. He hated the cold. They lived in Garfield Heights, okay? He retired when he was 52 years old. He was in real estate, this and that and the other thing. This is 1964 or whatever. He retires when he's 52, and he wants to go to Florida for the winter, because that's what you do when you're in Cleveland, right? You go to Florida for the winter. Well, she didn't want no part of it. So for 37 years or whatever it was, 38 years, she got in the car with him. He had a Buick Electra, one of those big boats. They got in the car, drove down to Florida.
Wow.
She got in a plane, flew back up for the winter, hung out with her family. That was her thing, her family, not him. And April came, and she would fly back down and drive him back.
Well, that's
And
why
they
their
did that.
marriage lasted so long.
Yeah,
Because they only spent half a year together.
Exactly. But
Oh my
but
gosh,
she
that's great.
she was an incredible woman. And one more quick story about her. So we're 13 years old, and we like hey Grams. Oh, she got her license when she was 60, by the way. And so Grams, would you take us up to the drugstore and buy some beer? Okay, honey. So she would buy us beer. We're 13, 14 years old, and of course what a mistake, because we're we couldn't do that. But I mean, she was just she was the cool grandmother, and she was just such a joy, and everybody loved her. And she was very influential. And I think the thing about her is I mean, she was just nothing but love. I mean, she was just a loving, like grandmas are. I mean, everybody, we all but she was just like that with everybody. She loved everybody. She
Nothing but love.
Yeah.
Good people.
She was a good one.
All right.
And then my mom, of course.
Can't leave her out. Don't leave out Mom.
Of course.
All right. The final lightning round question, Rick Cibik. An embarrassing thing about you that nobody else knows.
Again, head has exploded.
I think that
He's just trying to pick one.
Rick really wished he had ended the
podcast.
podcast about 10 minutes ago.
All right, I got one.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if this is embarrassing, but I wasn't very aggressive when I was younger, and I mean, I'm still not. I mean, I was never a good sports person, although I love sports, but I was just never real aggressive. And I was at Dairy Island. This is a Dairy Island story, and I was sitting outside, and that back putt-putt building. This is when we still ran the putt-putt, so this is in the early days. We would have freezers back there stocked with French fries and whatnot. That's when we used frozen French fries. Not anymore. And so this kid, young kid, walked into this building, grabbed like 3 bags of French fries, and walked out and put them in his car. And I'm watching him do this, right? And I was just like, so instead of approaching the guy and saying, hey, those are my French fries, you know what I mean? I let the kid drive away with, French fries. And it's funny. I remember, I've always remembered that. And I'm like, why didn't I stop that kid? They're my French fries, you know what I mean? It was not, but it's just one of those strange things. Yeah.
You were stunned.
So it's kind of embarrassing. I mean, why I didn't, stick up for myself. And again, I mean, I was, 15 or whatever, but still, it was just screwy.
Oh, and I bet has it haunted you?
And if you're out there,
Yeah.
you French fry stealer, I'm coming to get you now.
Yeah. Oh, he'll be in hell. If he started with the fries are the gateway.
Right.
We're stealing bigger and better things now.
We actually knew you were going to say that. It's John Gebler. That's who it was. John, fess up, buddy. We know it was you.
He is from the area.
Molly's husband was the one.
Yes.
Has that haunted you since then? Is that like...
Yeah, it doesn't haunt me, but it's there.
Still there,
I mean, it's kind of a strange thing. There's a lot of others too, but we won't talk about those.
The sequel. That'll be for the next podcast.
Well, make sure that, although you're not open in October, are you? When do you close?
We're going to close the end of September. Last day of September will be our unofficial last day.
So you will miss the doing pumpkin ice cream for the Pumpkin Roll documentary, which is the first week in October.
Right. Well, we can make arrangements.
There you go.
And I'm definitely going to be at the film fest.
Okay.
So yeah.
So we're having all our businesses do something pumpkin, and then the chamber will promote it.
Great.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. Rick, Molly.
This was great. Thank you for coming.
This was a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thanks for coming, Rick. So upcoming events that we need to inform our numerous members of the audience.
Well, I don't know about if this will be up by the 19th, by next Saturday.
Well, why don't you talk about it in both future tense and past tense
Well,
at the same time?
this is Rick's event next Saturday.
Oh, the
the ice
chamber
cream
event.
awards. No, the ice cream awards.
Oh, the ice cream awards.
is
So,
next
so yeah,
Saturday.
let me just mention really quick. So Saturday,
Yes.
the 19th, this coming Saturday, we're doing our first ever Customer Appreciation Day in appreciation of Bainbridge, Auburn, Chagrin Falls,
Nice.
Newberry, all the surrounding communities, all our customers. So we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have games. We're going to have raffles. We're going to have a lot of giveaways. We have 200-cent burgers. And that came to be because we're also celebrating the bicentennial of Bainbridge. And
That's
Auburn.
right.
So
Yeah.
some of the trustees are coming. The mayor's coming, I believe. And
So that's the 19th.
that's Saturday. Yeah, this
What
coming
time?
Saturday. It's
Three-
from 1 to 9.
1 to 9.
1 to 9. And then, so that's the event. A lot of fun. We have a DJ, my buddy, Dom, he's going to DJ. And we're going to have games. We're going to have a tug of war between Chagrin. Actually, that would be a good thing for you, Alex. Tug of war, you could lead up the Chagrin side. And then we're going to have the Bainbridge
Please,
side.
he's a Bainbridge
we're gonna have
side. He's a
Kenston.
Bainbridge
I'm
side.
Oh, are you
Bainbridge, she's
Kenston?
Chagrin, yeah.
Oh, well, okay. Well,
Yeah.
there it is.
No, but
okay.
But we could officiate being the official law firm of the pumpkin roll, and we can parlay that into being like an officiant. The problem is
Well, you could be the you could be
I could
the
be the
judge
official
for
judge
the
for the
tug of war.
Yeah.
But the problem is this will not air
I know. I don't.
by
Oh,
then.
until
So
after.
so here we can safely say by the time you're listening to this that was an awesome event.
Cool.
And if you were
Hundreds
the lucky
and hundreds of people.
thousands of people showed up.
Yes.
And if you were the lucky winner of the name, do you announce the winner of the contest?
Create your own ice cream. Yeah. So that
Yeah.
ultimately that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
Everything leads up to the award ceremony at 6. 3 o'clock, 3 to 6, we have a VIP reception for all the creators.
Oh yeah, I was invited.
So
to
what you-
that.
Right, and then at 6 we have the award
Invitation.
ceremony, and my parents will announce the winner.
So what you want to do to be clear, right? So when you're listening to this, the winner will have already been announced. And so
Right.
if you go to Dairy Island right now, right? When does it close for the season?
It's September 30. So
All right, so you'll be fine. Yeah.
October 1st,
So
right.
if you go there right now, you can taste the winning ice cream
And create your flavor for next
and
year.
create your flavor
if you
for
like,
next year.
yeah, you can buy. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can eat. Yeah, the winning flavor, or yeah.
So go there, and then also you'll hear all about how awesome the party was, and you'll have
Maybe we
FOMO.
should get the winners on the podcast.
Ooh, Molly,
that
you're
would be
They're little
brilliant.
inventors.
So brilliant.
Little inventors.
All right, anything beyond that, Rick, that you'd want to announce? That's the big thing. Anything outside of
Big
that?
thing.
Just really glad to be here, and really glad I
And go to
joined the
Dairy
chamber.
Island before
And
the
I'm
30th.
looking forward to, working with you guys, and thank you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is great to be back.
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Well, you've got
We're-
till the 30th to get there,
Yes.
and then it's closed for the season, and then you're gonna be bummed out that you didn't go. Molly, how about you?
You know what? We've got First Responders Week coming September 10th through the 16th. So Dairy Island, for instance, will get an email very soon. And we're asking everybody in the Chagrin Valley and businesses to light it up. That means get a blue or red light bulb, or for businesses, spotlights on their business, blue and red, to support our first responders. This is our 3rd annual. The hardware store and Credo Hardware in Pepper Pike are doing, they're stocked of light bulbs,
Get
red and
your
blue.
blue
So
and
get
red
your
lights
light bulb,
there.
get it up on your front porch, and show your support for the first responders.
Lovely.
And if you're a restaurant in the area and would like to feed the force, we send over 50 meals throughout that week. And if you want to participate in that as a business, let me know. We're plugging in those dates. We feed all 13 of our communities each day. So maybe Dairy Island would like to do a lunch for the Bainbridge Police.
Yeah,
And when
sure.
I say that, it's like 6 people. People get a little nervous. They think
Right,
of the
right.
whole force, but it's whoever's on duty at that time, which usually
Yeah, no, we'd love to.
is
Yeah.
6 or
Well, and this whole first responder situation, Molly, is awesome. You celebrating first responders and bringing attention to them, and
It's amazing that it's not done.
Yeah. But it's another one of the really cool things that you do, and you use the power of your voice and your reach and your organization to get everybody talking about public servants who just don't always get a good rap, you know. So,
and a couple exciting things. We are working with the JCs, and there will be two things. We will have little mailboxes. We want everyone to write a thank you note. So like Sterry Island is a member, so we will ask them to put a little box that we will create so that when people are at Sterry Island, it'll be a drop-off location for thank you cards. Then we're working with the JCs. I don't know, around Christmas time, you see Santa's mailbox in town. Well, they are letting us borrow that. We'll put a big blue bow on it since it's already red. We'll put it in the village where people can drop off their thank you notes to the first responders. So
it's a great idea.
We have 35 boxes. We'll sign you guys up to be drop-off locations, and we'll list all those places so that when people are around town, and we want adults, we want kids, and then we will take them all. If they don't indicate where they want them to go, we will spread them amongst our 13 and get them out. And then October 10th, we're having a concert kicking off this week. The Chagrin Falls Studio Orchestra, directed by Steve Eva, will be at the Chagrin Valley Little Theater. It's free to the community. We just want everyone to come. We'll have first responders there. And then the little girl who kind of started this for us, her name's Savannah. She lives in Texas. She's the one that 3 years ago, she went after when the police officer was shot in New York City in the car. She made a thank you note for every New York City police officer and begged her mother to take her to New York City, which she did, and she hand-delivered these thank you cards. So that is why Joe and Bob Royer saw that and came to the chamber and said we need to do something for our first responders. So she will be via Skype on the big screen. We found her, we located her, and she will be introducing the band that day. So it's going to be a great day. So September 10th through the 16th, light it up.
Awesome.
Yes.
You've
got a nonprofit
we've
thing
got a big
going on.
thing. Yeah. So do you know what, like, the Chagrin Valley Chamber of Commerce and the Pro Football Hall of Fame and the YMCA of Greater Cleveland all have in common?
I do.
What?
We're nonprofits.
They're all nonprofits.
Yes.
Do you know how many nonprofits there are in Northeast Ohio, Rick?
Wow.
10,000.
There are thousands of them. There
Yeah.
are thousands. And the bigger ones, like Boy Scouts of America and the Red Cross, right, they have like in-house attorneys who make sure that they do everything right, because the requirements to maintain your nonprofit status are pretty strict. And then there's all these issues, these legal issues that nonprofits have that for-profit companies don't have, or that are different, that they have, but they're treated very differently. And so our fine lawyers at the Gertzberg Law Firm, you know Nate Haskell and Mark Turner, are putting on a really cool talk about issues that nonprofits face. And it's called Brave New World. And it's going to be at the Idea Center in Playhouse Square on September 12th. Lunch is going to be served, and it goes from 11:30 till 2. So what you want to do is go to gertzberglaw.com and then click on the events page, and then you'll see it there, and you want to register there, and you do not want to miss it. And then we're going to have this panel discussion. So like we're going to talk about like crowdfunding, which is a really new and novel way to raise money, right? And we're going to talk about what happens when your volunteers do things that you don't want them to do and get you in trouble. So Mark's going to have a segment called "My Volunteer Did What?" ? And then we're going to have a panel discussion on strategic planning. So if you have anything to do with nonprofits, you're going to want to go to this. And if you know people who do, you're going to want to tell them to go to this. It's going to be awesome. Dairy Island's website is
DairyIsland.com.
DairyIsland.com. Chagrin Valley.
CVCC.org.
CVCC.org. GertzbergLaw.com. And most importantly, thebestpodcastever.com.
Yes.
Which is
Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah.
Too.
There's a Facebook page. Let's go through it, Molly. You want to like us on Facebook.
Correct.
You want to go to the website and subscribe. You want to get it tattooed on your
left arm.
You want to get it in painted on your ceiling, embroidered on your pillow.
Yes.
Share with your friends.
I mean, we have it.
Yeah.
We have it that way, but
you've got it on your back.
Or make a
Lower
T-shirt
back.
from
it doesn't matter.
Big Frog that says Best Podcast
But you
Ever.
definitely want to click the share button and the like button and the subscribe button, among all those other things.
Yes.
Thank you, Rick Cibik. This was awesome.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you,
so
Molly
much.
Come
Gebler.
back anytime.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to talk about yourself.
See,
Well, you
some
did a
people
really
don't
good
think
job.
you did a great job at it.
No, but I'd rather talk about other things. But thank you.
That was awesome.
Hey,
It was
how
a
could
lot
you
of
not want
fun.
to talk about ice cream?
Yeah.
Ice cream, yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, guys.
Great Jerome.
Thanks
All right,
for tuning
have
in.
a good one. See y'all.
Later.
Thanks again to the Gertzberg Law Firm for sponsoring Best Podcast Ever. Don't forget to visit GertzbergLaw.com to see how the firm is changing the attorney-client relationship. Gertzberg Law Firm. We solve problems.